If he asks if you're all alone, can he take you home? You must tell him no. But don't forget who's taking you home, and in his arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. 'Cause don't forget who's taking you home, and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Darling, save the last dance. Save the last dance. Save the last dance for me.
Everywhere I look today made me stop and made me say, thank you, Lord, for giving me the chance that I might see. Pretty flowers all around, a butterfly that makes no sound. That's when I stop and tell myself how lucky I must be. Rambling roses round the door, I could ask for nothing more. A home that's filled with laughter and with love. The warm sunshine upon my face, sweet memories time can't erase. No wonder that I tell myself how lucky I must be. Strolling on a summer's night, the one you love right by your side, sharing all your hopes and all your dreams. And in the distance far away, an eagle cries, it seems to say, look at me, I'm wild and free, how lucky I must be. Rambling roses round the door, I could ask for nothing more. A home that's filled with laughter and with love. The warm sunshine upon my face, sweet memories time can't erase. No wonder that I tell myself how lucky I must be. Everywhere I look today made me stop and made me say,
Pop up flowers for Mama today and all the grown children, but it's not Mother's Day. I don't have no money, not even a dime, but I bought Mama flowers like I have all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand?
Every day I'd sneak flowers from this pretty hill, a small bunch of daisies and a few daffodils. I bring them to Mama at at the end of the day and say, flowers for Mama, here's Mama's bouquet. It brightened her face and she'd hold me close. She'd say they were more precious than a beautiful rose. And she wore a smile sweeter than millions of flowers, a smile that I'll carry through life's darkest hours. Now Mama was lying there. Yes, they told me she'd passed away, and she was surrounded by flowers that outshined my bouquet. Oh, I know mine aren't fancy, but still, all the while, they were placed in her hands, and I know I saw Mama smile. Flowers for Mama, I'll pick them today. Not very much, just a simple bouquet. Mom wasn't so fancy, but up there above, she's the prettiest flower in God's garden of love.
To the living, I am gone. To the sorrowful, I will never return. And to the faithful, I have never left. I cannot be seen, but I can be felt. So when you see the Richmond Tigers run out onto the football field, remember me. When you sit in front of a sewing machine, remember me. When you walk past the magazine racks in the shops, remember me. Remember me in your heart, in your thoughts, in your memories. Remember the times that we loved, the times that we fought, and the times that we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will never have gone. We wish today was not happening, for death has visited us this week, and it has taken from us a precious life, Lorraine's life. Lorraine was a treasured member of her family. She was perhaps the glue that held them all together, the boss, giving orders and instructions on how to do things, and her loss leaves her family feeling empty and lost. And so this past week has seen the beginning of a unique and a terrible morning for this family, for a treasured wife, mum and mother-in-law, nan, little nan, sister, sister-in-law, auntie, and a friend is now gone. As funeral directors, we are invited into the lives of some wonderful families for a few short days to support them and to assist them in the planning of a service such as this, as they say these, their most final of farewells to somebody that they love. It is my privilege to be able to lead this service today, for it means that I have been invited into that place, meeting with Lorraine's family and helping them with the planning of today's service. This week, I have seen the outpouring of love for Lorraine as I heard about the relationships that she shared with her family. My name is Simon, and along with each of the staff here at Parkside, we are honoured to have been entrusted with caring for Lorraine after her death and of holding this service here. After our service here in the chapel, Lorraine's family warmly invite you to join them for a time of refreshment and to continue in remembering and in celebrating her life with them. Before we move too far into our service, I would like to ask that if you could take a moment to make sure your phones are off or onto silent as your mark of respect. There are undoubtedly some people who, for varying reasons, can't be with us today, but who nevertheless are here with us both in spirit and in thought. And so I welcome you also. You may be live streaming or watching this service at a later time, but your presence is equally important to Lorraine's family. It could be said that we find many things on this journey that we call life, but mostly we find ourselves. We find who we really are and what really matters to each of us. None of us live a perfect life, but we do live a real life. And as each of us lives our own life, we sometimes forget that not everyone knows us in the same way. Each person in our lives has a different experience of us. We are not the same to each person that we love, each person that we know, and even each person that we briefly meet. That's one of life's mysteries, and in regard, Lorraine was no exception. For Tommy, Lorraine was his loving and supportive wife. They'd chosen to spend their lives together, sharing all of what that brings. To Rod, to Craig, Michelle and Gary, Lorraine was your doting mum, the person that has always been there for you, no matter what life threw your way. She was always in your corner, supporting, guiding, loving. And her heart welled with love when Rod brought Deb and Michelle Grant into their family. And that brings us to the grandchildren, Jake, Ash, Danica, Luke, Stacey, and the great-grandchildren, Oliver, Indy Lee, Huxton and Leroy. What a proud Nan and little Nan you all shared. She loved you from the bottom of her heart, always worrying about you and liking to be kept up to date on where you were and what you were doing. I'd like to remind you that whatever the relationship that you have shared with Tiny, that it still is. She's still your wife. She's still your mum, mother-in-law, nan, sister, friend. The relationship has changed, but it hasn't ended. Remember the stories. Tell them again and again. I encourage you to talk about Lorraine so that through you, she will live on. A funeral service is a celebration of love, of family, and of memories. And so it's with this thought in our mind that we begin to tell Lorraine's story. We talk about her because we're proud. We talk about her because she deserves to be remembered. We talk about her because even though she is now not with us, she is never far from our minds. It was in St Mary's towards the east coast that James and Winifred Gillies welcomed a baby girl into their family, a sister for Betty, for Dorothy, Kathleen, Barry, Johnny, who was apparently the good-looking one, Gregory, Lynette. Cold nights down that way, I'm guessing. Their father, James, worked in the timber industry, and he had to go wherever the work took him, so the young family moved about a fair bit. They lived in Smithton, Morbanna, Corinna, Henrietta, West Ridgely, Abbotsham, Kindred and Ulverston. Upon finishing up her schooling, Lorraine worked at the Edgels factory for a time. It was while living in Abbotsham that she met a young Thomas French through friends of Tommy's, brothers Ivan and Darryl Best. Lorraine's sisters, Patricia and Kathleen, married the Best brothers. Well, I'm assuming Lorraine must have caught Tommy's eye, and after courting for a while, they married at Burnie on the 31st of October 1964. A little story from the wedding was Neddy and Pauline were chosen to be flower girls, and they were both really upset because their shoes had straps, and they wanted to be like Tiny and all the big girls and have strapless shoes. So somewhere they managed to find a pair of scissors and cut the straps off their shoes and bury them. As they were leaving, Tiny looked down and noticed the straps were missing. It was too late at that point, so they had to wear the shoes without the straps. Those straps are somewhere still in the garden at Mary Street. Tommy, reflecting on his life with Lorraine, told Danica the following. Danica's written, "I asked Pop, would you like me to write something for you, Pop? Is there something you would like to say?" And Pop responded with tears in his eyes and said, "I wouldn't know what to say." And immediately I understood, because how do you summarise 61 years? What do you say? Where do you start? Dates, milestones, loving children, adoring grandchildren, disagreements over the football, a macaw named Rosie, a house full of gnomes, and all the moments in between. Can 61 years of commitment, loyalty, and love even be summarised? Maybe not. But perhaps summarised as your favourite artist, Daniel O'Donnell, famously sings, "A love of a lifetime, darling, that's what you are." Beautifully put, Danica and Tommy. They settled in Payne Street, Burnie, and then moved around the corner into Stirling Street, where they owned and ran a milk run for some years. Tommy got work at Rennis and Bell, and so the young family packed up home and headed west, settling in Rosebery. When Michelle was about 16, and we all know what teenage daughters can be like, she gave the ultimatum for the family to leave the west coast and head back north, and so they did. In 1980, Rod nominated his mum for the 7BU Christmas Mum Award, which she won, deservedly, I might add. There was never a more deserving mum than Lorraine. Living briefly in Mount Hicks before purchasing the family home at 14 Rose Street, where they have remained for the last 40-odd years. Well, Lorraine soon set about making it at home. Gardening, decorating, cooking, cleaning, working. Lorraine kept scrapbooks, cutting out photos and stories of all her nearest and dearest, and she loved being able to pull them out for a sneaky brag. She loved family camping trips, St Helens and Montague being a couple of favourite camping spots. She wasn't so keen, however, on the time that they stopped in an animal park in Bicheno, where she was chased by the resident geese. I was told that her children learnt some new words that day. Weekends away in Hobart, which were usually paired up with a poultry show, Lorraine and Tommy, being members of the Wynyard Poultry Club, often meant that there'd be washing and blow-drying of chooks in the days leading up to the shows. Michelle and Lorraine loved having mother and daughter weekends away in Launceston. Well, one time, Lorraine kept telling Michelle that she could feel something brushing against the back of her hair. Lorraine decided that the place they were staying in was haunted, and she'd never be going back there for a night away again. On a more recent trip, staying at the old Tudor Motor Inn, the girls had a wonderful weekend of shopping, a bit of keno, but Lorraine was a bit upset that one of her favourite shops was shut. Lorraine was a collector. Some may even call it hoarding. She loved tigers, garden gnomes, garden ornaments, yowies, pens, cups, you name it, she probably had it. Lorraine loved her magazines, That's Life, Take 5, Woman's Day, New Idea, TV Week. And pity help if you were supposed to be on delivery duty the day that the magazines were issued and you couldn't get them to her. She would be wild. She loved the stories, she loved the puzzles, entering all the competitions and even winning a few of them over her years. She loved her games on the computer, Hidden Mystery and Slotomania being a couple of her favourites. If you were on the computer when she was ready for a game, she would kick you off quick smart. As the children grew up and started families of their own, well, Lorraine was in her element. She loved being a mum, but secretly, I think she loved being a nan more. The bonus of being able to send the kids back home once you've spoilt them rotten. Lorraine had a special bond with all of her grandkids, always wanting to know what they were doing, where they were. She would cook them their favourite meals, even if they were away on holidays and weren't there to eat them. She would cook Luke his Christmas biscuits spread with apricot jam and give them to him for Christmas, and no one else was allowed any. She would keep up with their antics, their travel adventures, always making sure where they were, what they were doing, and asking to see all their latest Snapchats. Lorraine would always growl about wasting money on the pokies at the pub. That is until the day that she was caught there, with Nettie hiding around the corner looking sheepish. Lorraine would keep her fridge stocked with chocolates and a nippies for when the grandkids called in for a visit. Often, they'd head straight for the fridge before they'd even say hello. Grandson Jake has written the following tribute. To my beautiful Nan, I can't believe you're gone. I think I'm still in shock. None of this feels real. I'm going to miss your beautiful smile, your kind heart, and your lectures about why I don't need my road bike because it's dangerous. But I feel honoured to be left with the warm memories of your love that you always showed towards me and my family. I still remember when I was younger, all the school holiday sleepovers, late nights catching up on all of your soapy daytime TV shows that you had recorded throughout the day, and eating your ice cream and your lollies. You always told me when I decided to marry Ashley that I wasn't allowed to elope because you wanted to watch your grandchildren get married. You were over the moon when I asked you and Gary to be the witnesses when we secretly eloped. You looked so beautiful that day in your dress, and I'm so thankful to have made those special memories with you that I will treasure forever. You may be gone now, but you will never be forgotten. You will always have a special place in my heart. Sleep peacefully, beautiful lady. I love you, Jake. And from Luke, to my beautiful Nan, I'll always remember the times I got to spend with you growing up. All the sleepovers on the couch, the times I'd walk into the house and you'd know it's me. Before I say hello, you'd hear the fridge door open. All the photos, the phone calls of my favourite steak stew tells me that there's an extra plate for me. Making me my own kiss biscuits for Christmas and my birthday, hiding them from everyone because they had apricot jam instead of the strawberry. You always used to tell me off for getting more tattoos or going to play the pokies until one day I walked in and seen this little lady in the corner hiding her face and then realised it was you. I could go on for hours talking about all the memories that we have together. I'll always remember the times with you, beautiful lady. Rest easy, Nan. I love you, Luke. Granddaughters Danica and Stacey have prepared this tribute. Death asks us to say goodbye. But Nan, I don't think I need to. You see, for I am honest because you taught me. I am stubborn because you were. You see, I am Nan because you were. You taught me. I may have given your sewing machine grief, but you are forever sewn into the tapestry of who I am. The distance I've always dreaded separates us now, which means that I need to surrender. No more Nan, can I have $2 to spend at chicken feed? No more nippies waiting for me in the fridge. No more lounge room sleepovers. No more hearing your worrisome laugh after sharing my recent mischievous stories of travel, of boys, or hiding animals that you gave me in my bedroom from Mum and Dad. But I'm not saying goodbye, because I look around and you are right beside me. Your pen in my hand, the roses that we chose growing in my garden, your gnomes in my greenhouse. So Nan, this is not goodbye, this is thank you. For now, I will carry your name, an ache in my chest, as a reminder of the love, and think of you when the roses bloom. Beautifully written. Great-grandchildren Indy and Oliver have written the following. To the best little Nan. Nan, you were the best little Nan I could ask for. You're always being funny and wearing your warm pyjamas. Even though you're not here, I still think about you every day, remembering all the sleepovers that we had together. You were the best little Nan ever. You are so special to me and lots of others. You will always keep a spot in my heart, sending you lots of love up to heaven. I love you dearly. I will always be proud to call myself your great-granddaughter. Love always, Indy. And to my little Nan was the kindest, most loving woman that I have ever known. She had a heart full of warmth and a smile that made everything feel better. Not only was she incredibly special to me, but to so many others whose lives she touched. Her cooking was unbelievably good. Every meal made with love, with care. Nothing ever tasted quite like Nan's. She will always hold a special place in my heart. I miss her deeply, but her love and her kindness will stay with me forever. As you all know, Lorraine's health has been in decline over these last few years. She passed away peacefully, loved and supported by her family at the Northwest Regional Hospital on Monday, July 14, 2025. Lorraine, your spirit will live on in the hearts and the minds of those you have left behind. Know that you are loved, that you will be missed, and that no one can ever take away the place you have left in our hearts.
If only I could see again the twinkle in my mother's eyes, to hear again her gentle voice, and have her hold me when I cry. If only she could be here now to help me free my troubled mind. I wonder if my mother knows, although I've tried, no peace I find. It seems 100 years ago that when I'd cry, she'd wipe my tears, and just like magic When I'd fall, she'd be right there to calm my fears.
I played a party last night for some old folks. They were dancing and smiling at me, except this old man alone at a table, as if there's some place that he'd rather be. So I said, sir, can I play something for you? Something special that you'd like to hear. When he looked up at me, he was smiling. Oh, but his eyes, you couldn't hide the tears. He said, play me the waltz of the angels, and I'll close my eyes and pretend. Play me the waltz of the angels, so I can dance with my angel again. He said, yes, that's the song I remember. That's the one that she loved the best. It was playing the night that I met her, and it was playing when we laid her to rest. Play me the waltz of the angels, and I'll close my eyes and pretend. Play me the waltz of the angels, so I can dance with my angel again. Play me the waltz of the angels.
We thank you, Tiny, for all that you brought to our lives, through the good times and the bad times. We cherish the memories that we made with you. Tommy, Rod and Deb, Craig, Michelle and Grant, Gary, your families, and indeed everyone present here today. Lorraine now moves into that part of our lives that we call the past. But you will love and you will remember her with pride for the rest of your lives. And you take with you today the love and the support of each person here as you move into your future. Special people will always be ingrained in our hearts and our memories. Look through the tears, the sorrow and the pain, and reflect on the thoughts that you want to retain. Remember the love, the warm embrace. Remember the touch, the smiling face. Remember the person so gentle and kind, who was always caring in action and mind. Always remember, never forget. People live on in our hearts, and if you remember the person within, then their spirit will never depart. Tiny, how glad we are that we were part of your life. How your leaving us brings us such sorrow. But we know that we can do no more for you in this life, and our last act of care is to lay you to rest. Today we have met to honour and to celebrate a life lived with acceptance, with collecting, of family, of friendship, of love. A life lived to its fullest measure. We are glad to be numbered amongst those who have loved you and respected you, and who were able to call you friend. And so as a last act of giving to Lorraine, who has given us all so much, I would like to invite her family to come forward and place a flower upon her coffin. As they do this, please reflect on what it was that Lorraine has given to you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. When we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first.
Lorraine, thank you. Thank you for all that you brought into our lives, for all the things we learned from you and shared with you. We are glad that our lives touched, and that we knew you, that we loved you, and that you loved us in return. We will never forget you. But we do have to say goodbye to your physical presence amongst us. And so we commit you now. We commit you to our hearts, to our minds, and to our memories. We commit to the telling of your stories so that others will know you We commit to loving you from now until eternity, and we commit to supporting each other through our loss of you. And gently and tenderly, we commit you for cremation, returning earth to earth, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. May you rest for eternity, knowing only peace and the love of your family and your friends. When I go, don't learn to live without me. Just learn to live with my love in a different way. And if you need to see me, close your eyes or look in your shadow when the sun shines. I am there. Sit with me in the quiet and you will know that I did not leave. There is no leaving when one soul is blended with another. When I go, don't learn to live without me. Just learn to look for me in the moments. I will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our service here in the chapel. Lorraine will not leave you as long as you have her in your heart. She will walk beside you every day, unseen, unheard, but forever near, always loved, always missed, and held so dear. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand?
Dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can take the future even if you fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, when I know the time is right for me, I'll cross the stream. I have a dream. Makes it worth the while, pushing through the darkness, still another mile. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, when I know the